DJ Metal Craig of Craig's Millstone here, and I have two of the members of A Light Within with me today. Hopefully, I got the band name right. Hey, how's it going? And would you like to introduce yourselves and what you do in the band?
Yeah, I'm Jeff Irvin, and I make noise and make caverns sing inside the band. So guitar.
Hey everyone, I'm Kyle Brandt. I'm mainly the vocalist and make the synth noises, do the production. Um, for some tracks, I do a little programming or bass or whatever really the song needs that I feel I can contribute.
Is there anyone else that's not with you guys today that's in a live lineup? If you guys do have a live lineup together.
Traditionally, we've had a live lineup and a couple other members as well. The band's coming out of a an odd stage of its life cycle right now, so.
We're
What
seeing
I
where
was
that
wondering is if you guys would like to introduce the members that you have at the moment for the lineup, besides you two.
yes, for the lineup we have Josh Bennett on bass. He was our guitarist. We lost our other bass player, and then instead of getting a new bass player, he switched to bass. And then Nick Sloan is our drummer.
Okay. Just give me a second. I'm just getting questions up for things over here.
Cool.
I didn't have them on the screen. Please go back in the history of A Light Within and how you both you guys met and the band's career got started.
All you, Jeff.
I got that. All right. So I was in a different band, and Kyle, previous band, and my band played together, and his voice just struck me. And when that band ended all too quickly, I immediately thought of Kyle and was like, I reached out to him, and I also reached out to Nick and Josh, who were in a band called Sleep Agents. So we had all played together at different points in times, and just kind of met and hit these guys up, and we started jamming, and that was like 2011, and we've kind of gone through many different iterations of the band since then, and keep moving forward.
Right on. Just give me a sec to take a sip of my coffee. I just woke up from a nap about an hour and a half ago.
You're good.
Did you say sleep token, Jeff?
No, Sleep Agents.
Oh, okay.
I hope I didn't say Sleep Token, did I?
No, just thought I'd make a funny.
Funny thing, you guys mentioned Sleep Token. I actually interviewed the guy who was in that band.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, the interview's up on YouTube, I believe.
I just found your YouTube channel, so I'm gonna go check it out.
Okay.
I think I just tossed you a new subscription, so after this is over, I'll go look through some interviews, see who I know and don't know.
Okay. I've interviewed Pub and Circus, Cannibal Corpse. I'm going to be interviewing Gene from Angel Corpse Life Perdition Temple on Saturday. I've got some other ones coming up this week. I'm also trying to line up one with a band that's coming out with their first album in 2026 as well.
Nice. That flowed into a great plug section.
Yeah, I've been doing the internet radio gig for 12 years in total. I started back in 2013, I believe,
Yeah.
November.
Wow.
Who?
So been in it a while then. I'm curious to get your opinion on how that has progressed and evolved over the last 10, 15 years.
It's progressed very nicely, and I've got big labels like Nuclear Blast. I got AFM Records I have for a while. I'm still friends with them. I just don't know if they're doing internet radio anymore. According to what the guy said, they aren't at the moment, but who knows if they're going to come back to that at some point. I even have Seasons of Mist. I have Metal Blade.
Wow. Those are big names.
Yeah, and then I've got Bob, your guys' PR as well. Thanks to Kristen from Nuclear Blast, setting me up with him to talk and communicate. And he also shows me interview pictures every now and then.
Cool. Yeah. Bob's been great so far.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank him for this interview with you guys today as well while we're in here.
Definitely, I'd like to thank him for hooking us up.
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
Who came up with the name for A Light Within and what's the meaning behind it?
So that was me. After my previous band broke up, I was kind of in a dark place for a minute. I don't know why. It just was, and I just kind of thought of that name. Its meaning behind it is it's that hope that you have inside of you, and I just kind of came back to calling that the light within that you have inside of you. So it kind of helped me pull myself out of that space when we started this project.
Who are the band's musical influences?
Take it, Kyle. You start with yours.
All right. Yep. We the great thing about this band traditionally has been that we all have very different musical influences. So the product that you hear at the end of the day is a great combination of many different styles, which I think is good for us because I think it makes us unique. I don't think when I listen to what we put out that I can say, hey, this sounds exactly like this band or this sounds really close to this band. I mean, you can lump us in with a couple different bands kind of in the genre, but I think our eclectic styles really make us unique. That said, personally, the first person that comes to mind for a musical influence for me is Steven Wilson, mainly known for the band Porcupine Tree. I just really respect him as a songwriter as well as a musical producer. So anytime I hear a song produced by him, whether it be a remix of a very popular classic album or his own stuff, it just melts my soul and just is very easy on my ears. There's never any moments where I cringe and I'm like, that guitar is too hot or something like that. So me as a striving producer guy wannabe, I look up to his production as definitely an influence. Um, Additionally, I would say Akil Khani from the band Tesseract. He's been a big influence to me as far as composing music and doing music production as well. I'm leaning more on the music production influences nowadays because I find myself in Pro Tools more than actually playing an instrument. Um, that said, modern bands that I'm really into are Vola, um, Bad Omens, and like some modern progressive metal rock bands. And then, of course, I have the traditional influences such as Pink Floyd and many old prog rock bands, old Genesis or, Phil Collins, definitely from a vocal perspective. I've always loved Phil Collins. So I could go on and on with influences, but I'll stop there and pass it over to Jeff.
Yeah, so I'll say Pink Floyd is where we kind of definitely cross paths because I try to approach songwriting as like David Gilmour would, but then I take a more modern approach to it with I try to combine bands like Neurosis or Mogwai to have that kind of heaviness, but also have that nice, cool texture ability to the songs. And then you got bands like ISIS, Amon Ra, stuff like that. So I'm kind of all over the place as far as what I listen to, but I would say a lot of post rock and post metal is where I kind of live a lot these days. Or I'll go into some Norwegian folk thing that everyone around me is going, "What are you listening to?" And it just kind of makes me feel good inside, so I'll listen to it.
Right on. And just so you know, Jeff, this one you might recognize, might not. It's a hardcore slash punk band from 84 or 94, Negative FX.
Yeah,
I had a chance to buy an original of that CD, but I missed it by a week because I didn't get paid in time from work at the time,
yeah,
which sucked.
yeah.
I loved that album. It was so cool.
I remember
What
hearing that
year?
like
What
90,
year was that?
94.
84 to 94, somewhere in between
94.
there.
I got to turn off this heater. Oof.
I I'm trying to think if I had a CD in 1994.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Wow.
you're just a baby.
The CDs were just coming out kind of at that time, right? Maybe I had Pearl Jam 10 on CD way back then.
Nah, they were out
Maybe
for a while.
maybe Nirvana's Nevermind,
Yeah.
but I was probably still buying cassettes at that point.
That's cool. The cassette days were awesome. I'm actually one that started off with Iron Maiden somewhere in time on cassette. I played that thing so much, I wore out the second side of the tape to the point the audio was gone. My favorite
Nice.
song from that album is Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner because I was an athlete in high school. I did a lot of running.
I was a
Oh,
runner.
nice.
Yep.
Can't do that anymore. I got a bad knee now.
Yeah, that
Funny
I hate
thing
happens.
is,
running, so good for you guys.
funny thing is how the knee happened. I was at a Cannibal Corpse show in the mosh pit. Some guy came up behind me, cheap shot me in my knee, knocked my knee out. I got caught, pulled back up, and I had to leave the show because the knee was messed up.
Oh, jeez.
But I'm okay. I'm still getting around, even if it's popping and cracking a little more than usual.
Oh, yeah. Every movement does that.
And before we get into the new single you guys dropped, the one A Dying Clock, I just want to let you know that that one's very Pink Floyd influenced in my opinion. Would you mind talking about the single A Dying Clock, which was coming in at 9 minutes and 9 seconds, and how the track came about?
Yeah, sure. I can try that one. So, it actually I think that it really started in the room during just a jam practice one night. There was a certain bass note progression that stuck out to me in a recording afterwards. It was, I don't know, maybe 4 notes or something. It was very simple. I think you may be able to hear it at the end of Dying Clock song, but I kind of started there and rebuilt that, and then kind of worked its way backwards. And I don't know, over the span of a couple weeks, I think I had an entire structure of that song created. And we got to kind of go back in time here. This was coming out of the COVID era, so I think the structure of the song was originally written back in 2021.
Probably, yeah.
Um, and the lyrics were written all there. So basically, I wrote a kind of a demo, drums, bass, synth, and vocals, and then I had Jeff put some guitar ideas on it, and then it kind of got presented to the rest of the band for a while. Nobody was really digging on it, so it just kind of sat in the Dropbox for many years until I started talking to, I was looking for more music to work on, so I just dove back into the Dropbox and pulled that demo out and said, "Hey, you know what? I really liked this, so I'm gonna put some more effort into it and see what happens." Jeff came over, we threw down the guitars on it and really got those sounding pretty solid. And then kind of just tried to think of what to do after that. And Jeff reached out to Kelly, and Kelly liked the idea of it and threw down drums. And then once we heard those back, we were like, okay, well, we need to fix the bass, and was able to pull someone in to do some guest bass on that. And about a month later, it kind of ended up where you hear it today.
Yeah, we threw some more guitar on it too after that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always a dabble of, hey, it needs a little bit more here and a little bit more there. So many hours were put into it.
I'll leave you guys on that, but it's a badass track.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
And
I
I'd like to
appreciate it.
thank Bob for letting me preview the track in
Oh,
advance.
did you see the video? Or
I
just
know I haven't seen the video yet, but I will check it out when I get out of here.
yeah, it's unlisted right now, but I'll send you uh, uh, I'll send you the link so you can look at it.
All right, that's cool, man.
It's
And
it's it's kind of a visualizer, and Jeff did a good job on it.
Yeah, it's a lyric video, but
If I had a full budget, I would have loved to have done a real music video with live actors and fancy production and all that for this. I think we could have built a cool story around it.
yeah, for sure.
Maybe not something that's never been done before, but just like the story that you read within the lyrics just kind of present, I think, an easy way to put it on film if we were able to do that. Unfortunately, our time and budget doesn't include that. So
Maybe
when do you
next.
expect to see the new album for Time Clock to come out? What's the album title name and the release date for it?
So there's no really release date at the moment. We have 2 or 3 other songs that we're going to try to complete for it. We have we released 4 singles prior to this one that are all part of this. At the time when we were doing it, this was pre-COVID. We had these ideas for our next full length album, our first full length album, and we got to it, and then the pandemic hit, and we kind of just shut down, like Kyle mentioned earlier. And then when we started reworking these singles, I came up with the idea of Reconstruction because that's kind of what we were doing. So the tentative album title is called Reconstruction. I think it might be the final album title. I'm not sure yet. Release date, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
We're
So
notorious for moving slow, so
I was gonna say anybody who's a fan of ours knows that we work at a crawling pace. Traditionally, all the music's been written in the room. So back when we were doing practices together once a week or more, things were progressing a lot faster. But as we all get older, have kids, attending those types of events, other real life things that get in the way, the time to get together has dwindled, and therefore we've kind of tried to adapt into a modern way of working, where that is working with Pro Tools, sharing ideas online through Dropbox, Google Cloud, etc. Many bands are doing this these days. That's how they get away with making music from faraway locations. So we're kind of working in that method right now. Some of us adapt quicker than others, and that's kind of just how we're working on it right now. As far as releasing a full collective album, we chose to go with a different strategy for what we're doing now in our method, kind of just releasing singles as we finish them. Otherwise, people who enjoy our music would have to wait like Tool 10 years before we actually put something out. And by that point, they might not even care anymore. So we're trying to just do more of a streamline release music as we finish it type of thing.
I guess yeah, that's pretty cool and different. And you know what? I have kudos to you guys for doing that. It's way different method than doing it. I'm trying to get my band back going after 20-year hiatus.
you can
So
do it.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I know, and I'm a vocalist myself for the death metal, black metal scene. Bands like Deicide, Incantation, Malignancy, Cannibal Corpse, the old school stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, I would do my vocals on the interview, but every time I do that, they cut right out and you can't even hear them. That's how loud I am. The funny thing is, before we get into the next question, I'm going to tell you my story. I was doing my first show at 666 night here in town at the Royal Albert Arms Hotel. I was about that far away from the mic when I did my high grindcore streak, and I blew the PA speaker out.
Wow.
To
And they still
start the
haven't fixed
night,
the PA speaker to this day right. It still cuts out.
It still cuts out nice.
Yeah. Please give some vocal tips or advice for starting out vocalists.
all right. Well, maybe I'm more of a singer and less of a growler, but I would say advice that I could give to anyone doing any kind of vocals is really focus on your breathing. If you can't breathe right, then in my opinion, you're not going to be able to sing like you want, regardless of what style you're doing. So I would say really nowadays, you can find many breathing tip videos on YouTube or online coaches where they can help you. Even meditation really helped me back when I was in my prime. I'm not as good as a singer as I was a few years ago, and I was doing it every day. But meditation really getting your breaths right so that you can control your vocals a lot more stable, I guess. I would start that answer.
This next one's for you, Jeff. Please give some guitar tips or advice for starting out guitarists.
Here's the best thing I would say. Learn a lot of songs. When I was first coming up, I was a bass player first, and I just wanted to focus on original music. So my writing style was not pop oriented or even just conventional. It was just what I wanted to do. So when I picked up a guitar and then I started really kind of learning how to play other people's songs, my songwriting kind of blossomed a little bit. I learned a lot about what to do on how to different, take your theme and variate the theme a little bit, so make it stronger. Another thing I would say to do is, especially if you're just starting out, learn a song and find a drummer or bass player, because once you start playing with people, you're going to start at a low level, and then in 2 months you're going to be up here. And if you didn't do that, you'd stay at that low level for a long time, just because you're playing with people and you're learning things as you're playing, and you're like, oh wow, I didn't know about that, and then all of a sudden you just come up with something different.
This
Not as
next
much
one.
not as much technique as what Kyle's going into, but just what I think is really important as far as coming out as a new guitar player or bass player or just a musician in general.
I don't want to add to that. You might hate me for this, but everybody knows what Guitar Hero is. You could start there if you want. However, they improved upon it with a one called Guitar Smith, where you actually use a real guitar,
Okay.
and it's the same style. So you can plug your real electric guitar into the same style of, hit the note as it comes into play, and you can do that to some of your old favorite classic songs. So that does exist out there. I know that when I was playing that for a while, it really helped me progress in finger movements and, get working the calluses on my fingers and learning how to move around on the fretboard.
Yeah, I played Guitar Hero and I was terrible at it because it wasn't like playing guitar. It was like here, you take it. I don't want it.
Uh, Now, yeah, Guitar Hero with the stupid plastic guitars and the four buttons, that maybe can benefit you in a way where you can learn some rhythm and or maybe like some finger movements,
Right.
but outside of that, it's not really going to teach you when you get over to a new guitar. So I'd say that's very, very entry level, but you
Yeah.
might as well just skip that right off the bat and try like a Guitar Smith, I think. And I don't know if I know that I think that came out like around 2014 or 15 or something. I don't know if it's still a
I have no
thing
idea.
or not, but I know that helped me a little bit when I was diving into learning guitar.
Oh, and just sorry for cutting you off there for a sec. I was gonna let you. I forgot what I was gonna say because you guys talk so much, but it's all good. We'll just get on to the next question. What advice do you have for people who want to form their own bands? This one might get you both talking a little bit.
Best thing is, I would say find people that you like being around first, whether they're friends or people you can just you know that you can be around because it's a lot like a marriage, and you don't want to be around people that you can't stand. And I know some bigger bands are like in that situation now, and they just do it because of where they're at. But if you're not having fun, there's no point in doing it unless you're getting lots of money. Then it's different.
Right. I don't know what bands are getting lots of money though these days.
For sure.
There's some of the biggest bands in the world right now are struggling to make that lots of money that they saw growing up in the 80s and 90s. Surviving off their merch sales and such because of the leeches.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess I would say, yeah, start a band if you love music. If you don't love it, don't even start. And
Right.
like Jeff said, it's like a marriage. Be willing to compromise because not all of your ideas are going to be loved by everybody else. So definitely go into it with every idea being a draft and try and remain flexible. Um, yeah. Oh, and the hardest part of forming a band is finding other members with similar vision and or music taste.
I understand you there. Finding people who are into the music's the hardest thing to do
Right.
for
Yeah.
vision wise. I totally agree with you guys both on that. We've got two more for the interview, and then I'll need a couple of station IDs.
Okay.
And well, let me make a comment on the just how much respect do we have for bands that got together before the internet existed,
Oh,
right? So these classic bands that are just icons, they all had to have met at like a college or a bar or someplace without looking for advertisements on the internet. Or like I said, nowadays you can find some people with similar music tastes that want to do a project, and you can collaborate via online file shares and live Pro Tool sessions and stuff like that. So much respect to all of the OGs that built a successful band before the modern times.
And now to get on to the second last question of the interview, because we have just under 9 minutes left for this interview.
okay.
What social media outlets can the band be reached on?
We're on quite a few of them: Facebook, Instagram, and those are the main two that we. I don't know if we're on any other ones besides those two.
I would
But
say the main one we want to promote is Bandcamp because that's where you can download our music in the highest quality. And if you want to financially contribute to the band to keep going, you can do that there with the least amount of money going to the giant platform owners.
yeah, I mean, we're on
Plus,
Spotify.
Jeff makes really great merch that we have on our Bandcamp as well. So if you want to support us via merch, my wife's been wearing some Light Within t-shirts for 15 years, I think, and they're still in decent shape and they're very comfortable. So,
Yeah,
This was the last question of the interview. What new band news do you have on the, oh, oh shoot. Hold on, I just gotta just over a bit. On the Light Within band front, isn't anything we might have missed so far in this interview?
not really anything new as far as us moving forward. I mean, like we mentioned previously, Kyle and I are kind of moving in a new direction as far as working on songs together because we used to do it in the room. Now we're not doing it in the room as much, and we really don't have our bassist and drummer available all the time. So he and I are just kind of going around that and just kind of putting things together and then finding people to fill out. So that's not really new news, but it's a new way of us moving forward at this moment in time.
yeah, and that's not to say it won't change.
Right.
Perhaps we start getting in the room more often. We'll just have to see if that happens or not. But yeah, right now we're just kind of doing what we can to not completely die off. Um, that said, Jeff and I we're great friends and we're always trying to make music together. So I have an additional solo project that Jeff contributes to as well. So I'll plug that. Molotov, Molitoth. So if you like my vocal style, you can hear much more of me on that project, and you'll hear some Jeff guitars as well
And
every now and then.
we've also done some covers together under Molotov.
Yeah.
So that was fun too.
And now that leaves us with the station IDs. And I'd like to thank, before we get into the station IDs, Bob from the PR company years and you guys for the interview today. First station ID is going to go like this. I'm going to use Jeff as an example. Hey, this is Jeff of A Light Within, and you're listening to Mangled Music Radio, and then Kyle will follow you up afterwards whenever you guys are ready.
It's what Mangled Music Radio.
Mangled Music Radio.
Okay, cool. Hey, this is Jeff from A Light Within, and you're listening to Mangled Music Radio.
Hey, this is Kyle from A Light Within, and you're listening to Mangled Music Radio.
And then the second station ID is the same as the first one, but for my personal show, Craig's Metal Storm.
Yeah. Hey, this is Jeff from A Light Within, and you're listening to Craig's Metal Storm.
Hey, this is Kyle from A Light Within, and you're listening to Craig's Metal Storm.
Cool. Thank you guys very much for the time. I'll email you guys in regards to getting the video link for the interview.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thanks
Have
for your
a
time.
wonderful night. Bye.
You too.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Craig. Have a great one. Thank you, my friend.